Welcome back, Mike Kemp here at home in Austin, Texas. I'm an Ironman triathlete who is competing for a world championship slot for the race in Kona, Hawaii at the end of next year. I'm 1 year into triathlon training, really proud of how far I've come, but in order to compete with the best in the world, we've still got a long way to go. 12 weeks ago now, I broke my neck in a bad cycling accident. Recovery's going really well. I'm back to my cycling, both indoor and outdoor, and I'm also swimming. In the next few weeks, we'll start running. There are 75 slots at Ironman Texas next April that are going to be awarded a ticket to Kona, and I'm trying to be one of them. At my last race in South Africa earlier this year, I got 11 hours and 43 minutes. In order to compete at Ironman Texas in my age group of 40 to 44, I'll need to come well under 10 hours, which is by most people it's called an elite time. I expect to be able to do that based on the data and the fitness that I've been showing. But of course, every single race is different. You really got to show up, put all those three sports together. The good news about the biking is it's helping my fitness on the run. Even though I haven't run in a few months because of the spinal cord injury, I can't take the high impact yet. But my triathlon coach, as well as other coaches and experienced athletes, have told me I'm maintaining a lot of that fitness, both because I'm working my legs and my heart, and we'll just have to see. We're currently 6.5 months out from my race next April here in Texas. 4.5 months is the length of a build, or about 20 weeks. So my goal in the next 7 weeks before we arrive at that time of the build will be just to get a strong base of cycling, which I already have, swimming, which I'm getting back to, and running, which I should be doing in 2 weeks, which will give me 5 weeks just to get a base. And by a base, I mean maybe 3 to 4 times of each sport, moderate pace and distance to feel comfortable to start the build, which means each week from there, it's more difficult, gets longer. So I need to be in decent shape for that. I'm feeling pretty good about it. What we're doing here today on the bike is called an FTP test, functional threshold of power. That's very similar in running to finding your lactate threshold, what you would do for 20 or 30 minutes maximum. Here on the bike, I'm in a 15-minute warm-up. Then I'm gonna do 20 minutes of the maximum that I can hold for 20 minutes. I'm expecting an FTP around 340. It's gonna be difficult. I'm definitely gonna go into the pain cave. This is not an easy part of training. This is one of the most difficult. People usually get pretty nervous about this day, but it's also exciting. It gives you a piece of data. And what you do with this data is I'll take 95% of the number that I get today that I can hold for 20 minutes. And that's what I can probably hold for an hour. There is another FTP test called the ramp test on Zwift, where each minute it starts low, and each minute you go up in wattage, and it just gets harder and harder. But it's not as realistic because this one, where I'll hold 20 minutes at a very high power, is what I'm going to be doing. A bit less, obviously, during the race, but over a long period of time. So it's more realistic and in accordance with the training that I'll do, which are sets or interval training of longer 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 minutes, holding a power for the duration. My coach would like to see that for the 20 minutes duration, I'm down here like this in the arrow position, because that's what I'll race at. But he and I also understand that's painful on my neck, and I'm just not ready to support the weight of my head because of the weakness of my neck muscles from my broken neck. So that's all good. Still gonna be able to get good data on what kind of conditioning my legs are in. Here we go. Okay, so we got some data. Just finished the 20 minutes. I held 350 for almost all of it, and then had to drop down for a couple minutes. So 95% of 350 is 332, and then I dropped down a bit, so that's around 330 watts. I was expecting my fitness to be around 340, but I need to consider I'm 3 months out from a major spinal cord injury, broken neck, broken sternum, titanium plates, my shoulders, back, and chest all affected, as you guys have been seeing in these episodes. But we've got some work to do. I think healing will bring my fitness up. I'll hold my position better on the bike. I'm sure here you'll see some places where my shoulders were up, being protective, or hunched over a little bit. They're just areas that I need to strengthen. But overall, I should be proud of that. A 330 FTP is pretty high. I just have goals of putting another 30 to 40 watts in the next 6 months, which is doable because in October of last year, I had a 303 FTP. By the time I raced in South Africa, I had a 324 6 months later. And now I've been injured for a few months, so yeah, I'd like to race about 30 watts more than this, and that will get me a really fast time on the race. You've heard me mention over the last episodes and today about my triathlon coach, and I just wanted to help you understand the things that I'm investing, both time-wise, money-wise, in order to be just fully prepared, not only for the race, but for everything in life. A bit younger, I used to not see the point of spending a bunch of money on experts. Maybe just the Marine in me or the man in me who just thought, I'll just figure it out on my own, and I was strong enough or something. Come to learn that investing in experts to help you understand how to get through things is efficient. It's learning so much for somebody who's focused on personal growth and self-help. The amount of setbacks that I would have had if I didn't hire a triathlon coach. Since a year ago, I had no background in swimming, running, or cycling. I don't think that should deter anyone from signing up for something like this, because I learned all three, and I'm nothing special. I was just committed and consistent and had an amazing group of people around me. In addition to triathlon coach, I invest in physical therapists. I invest in a psychotherapist who does body work, energy healing, helps my mind. I also have a masseuse. I do ashiatsu, which is foot massages. The lady's standing on top of my back and chest. I never realized how much power they can drive with their legs. And if it sounds gross or not appealing to you, because it's their feet, it's very comfortable, and it's the deepest tissue massage I've ever had. Just want to encourage you guys to be okay giving your life over to areas where they can help. In my opinion, it's from looking past those insecurities or inaccurate assumptions that you may have from your athletic endeavors from the past or lack thereof. The reason here is, rather than seeing a weakness or a fear of a sport or something as a reason for not doing it, what if it was the reason you did do it? I actually signed up initially for the Ironman because I was a horrible swimmer. And I was certain that, well, if I can get to that end where I do end up doing an Ironman, then I must have at least become an average swimmer. And that was the case. More often than not, it happens to be swimming for people who come up to me and tell me they are afraid of sharks if it happens to be an ocean swim, or they have panic when they get in the water, especially deeper than 6-10 feet,
or just a fear of water in general. I have all of those. In October last year, got in the water, did 1 lap in a 25-yard pool. I was completely exhausted. I had a full-on panic attack. But what I did there was the next day I showed up and I did 2 laps. And the next day I did 3 laps. Then I hired a coach. I took a lesson. I got equipment. And 6 months down the road, in March of this year, I lined up in the beach of South Africa and I did a 2.4-mile swim in the ocean, followed by the 112-mile bike and a marathon to be called an Ironman. I'm not saying that as an accolade for myself of, hey, look at me. It's because I know what it feels like to be all the way back to that point of, if I can't even swim a lap in the pool, how could I possibly think about calling myself an Ironman or a swimmer? And I just encourage you to have the courage to look at, well, what if I had the commitment and the consistency to show up for myself every single day? What I did at the beginning there was I pictured myself as an Ironman 6 months later on that first day. And then it broke it down into piece by piece. And that takes a lot of courage to have somebody who doesn't even know how to swim and got so tired after 25 yards. But I just have to tell you, the person on the other side, your future self, will be so thankful that you made that decision. That mentality even spills over to what we're doing on YouTube right now. When my videographer, Pablo, and I sat down 7 weeks ago, neither of us had a clue what we were doing. We said we wanted to enjoy the process, we wanted to be authentic, and we wanted to share a message. So I'm a complete beginner in this. I don't know how to talk in front of a camera. I can be self-critical about the way I speak, whether I'm too slow, whether I'm too serious, even though I have a playful side, and just trusting the process that as I increase my number of reps, as Pablo and I each get better individually and collectively, it's going to be serving a greater good. I want you to let me be a trial for you to witness. I'm most excited about taking you on this journey of embracing the uncertainties of life, because that's what I'm preaching, and I want to do it right here in front of you. I'm willing to take a risk on myself, and I might fall on my face, but at least we get to see throughout the process. I believe that courage is rewarded, that commitment is rewarded, and who knows, at the end of this, I could have a sponsorship as an athlete for a company that I admire their ethos. I could, and already have been approached to represent apparel brands or fitness brands, either with their equipment. There are unlimited opportunities. Most importantly, I want to share my experience that I've really enjoyed about becoming an Ironman and all of the qualities that it takes in order to achieve that goal. I hope my transparency and this topic encourage you to challenge any limiting beliefs you may have in any area of your life. I think the treasure is in the work we're avoiding, and I feel so thankful that I get the opportunity to play it out in front of you, and we'll see where it goes.